An article I read recently on Forbes.com from 2022 stated that Americans spent on average more than 1,300 hours on social media in 2021. This comes out to just over 3.5 hours daily. According to an online safety site called ScreenReveal.com, as many as 500,000 sexual predators are online at the same time, and 1 out of every 25 children are manipulated in this physical contact. An alarming percentage of relationships are affected by micro-cheating and online infidelity. McKinleyIrving.com gives an interesting statistic showing the correlation between divorce and Facebook usage. It shows that with every 20% increase in Facebook enrollment, a 2 to 4% increase in divorce rate occurs. Increased online usage is also linked to decreased emotional wellness and lower satisfaction in personal relationships. 61% of parents feel young teens are not even old enough to be online, according to studyfinds.org, but only 31% of young teens are kept from making online profiles by these same parents. The internet exposes 6 out of 10 children to cyber risk, ranging from cyberbullying to kidnapping, and it happens every single day. Social media is harmful to our children and our relationships, and we are still addicted to it. ScreenReveal.com has an article from this year all about online predators and why the need to protect our children is at an all-time high. They share a few statistics that, as a parent of 3 little girls, make me want to ban computers of all kinds in my home. The site states that only 15% of parents know what their kids are doing online, but 80% of child sex crimes start online. I thought my kids were safe because they did not have profiles on any of the social media sites, like Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. But these predators take advantage of so many online platforms, it is impossible to keep track of it all. They even use online video gaming to get close to their intended victims. My 12-year-old daughter is a full-blown gamer and is always in Discord talking to people from all over the world. I am extremely strict when it comes to her online usage, and I constantly go to old chats and messages to make sure she is not being targeted. Thankfully, I have not found any signs of sexual predators, but I have found several very inappropriate conversations and messages with people calling her names and saying they were going to kill her in vivid detail. The site goes on to state that 1 out of every 7 kids will be approached by an online predator. 1 in 25 will be victimized, and 53% of kids have given their number to a stranger online, and 11% have met the predator in person, all without the knowledge of a parent. A close friend of mine took her daughter's phone and noticed she looked up peanut sucker and had porn sites popped up on her phone. When asked about it, the young girl got upset because someone called her that, and she looked it up to see what they meant. The internet makes it so easy for people to trick, bully, and harm our children. Without limiting a child's access to these platforms, how can we as parents protect them? I would rather be the strict dad that has safe children than the cool dad that allows his kids to be victimized. Online usage is not just affecting our youth, but also negatively affecting our relationships. McKinleyLaw.com has an article that talks about these effects, such as added marital problems, infidelity, jealousy, and even an increased divorce rate. The New York Times states that 25% of marriages experience cheating by at least one spouse due to social media in some way. MindBodyGreen.com states that the main cause for this is an unhealthy comparison of our relationships to others we see online. Most people post the highlights and good times for others to see. They use the best selfie for a profile picture and use 17 filters to make them look perfect. Attempting to measure up to these curated and filtered posts lead to arguments and disappointment, since that level of perfection is unattainable. These disappointments lead to flirting and commenting on posts of people they find attractive. This is followed by cyber stalking, messaging, and inappropriate selfie exchange. All this is known as micro-cheating. Even more simply put, this is the age-old proverb, the grass is greener on the other side at play. But our relationships are not only affected by online cheating. Think about this for a second, and I use myself as an example. The last 24 hours for me, midnight to midnight, went about like this. I slept from around midnight to 8 a.m. I got up, got ready for work, and was gone by 9 a.m. I worked until 4:30 p.m. I then came home and played a game with my son and hung out, but for argument's sake, let's say I then showered and ate dinner by 5:30 instead. That leaves me 6.5 hours in my day. If I spend the average amount of 3.5 hours online, I'm now down to 3 hours in my day for my 3 children, my wife, and all the other things that you must deal with in a day. That is not enough time with your family as it is, but imagine going into that precious 3 hours already thinking that your life and family did not add up to all of those you saw online. That is just not fair to those you love, and they deserve better. Another way social media is detrimental to our children is due to cyberbullying. When I was a child, if there was a fight at school or if somebody was bullied, it was over when the bell rang. We all went home and that day's problems were behind us. Nowadays, social media gives these bullies a platform to keep the tormenting and bullying going. There is no escape when school is over or during summer break. Social media keeps it alive. And because of the widespread use of these social media sites, handfuls of people see it in seconds. Children subjected to bullying never get a break, and it becomes too much to bear. According to StopBullying.gov, 12 out of the 15 school shooting cases in the 90s were all done by kids being bullied. This extreme amount of relentless bullying leads to all types of negative impacts like physical, social, emotional, academic, and mental health issues, as well as self-harm and even extreme violence. Every 7 seconds, a child is bullied. 4% of the time, adults intervene. 11% of the time, there is peer intervention, and 85% of the time, nobody intervenes at all. The site also states that 160,000 children miss school each day due to the fear of bullies, and that suicide rates among teens have gone up more than 50%, and the rise in numbers directly correlates to the rise in social media popularity and usage. I know what most of you are thinking, especially those of you who are addicted to social media. I'm not online that much, not my kids. But how much time do you spend surfing other people's lives while yours passes right on by? Do you know who your kids play Minecraft and Fortnite with? Are your children victim of bully or even the bully themselves? Before I read this article, I spoke about I was always conscious of my kids being online too much, but after reading all the statistics and about how common these issues are, I will be more on top of it than I was ever before. As a father that loves his family, it is my duty to protect them from the harm, and the internet left unchecked has the possibility to harm them in a million separate ways. Therefore, I believe social media is harming our children and relationships, and it should be regulated and cut back. It should be an added privilege to the day, not the center of it. Thank you.
But no, you do that with ease. That's all you get one take, bro. And then like, you should know that shit.